Game of Thrones Season 8 redeemed. I repeat, Game of Thrones Season 8 redeemed. All of the feels, so much of feels. Episode 2 is so good, like so good. And the ones who are lost, and the ones who are found. Before getting into my general love fest of Episode 2, I need to put Episode 2 in context by briefly going over what I didn't like about Episode 1. Episode 1 was in line with the general direction of Game of Thrones in recent times. The showrunners increased the pace of the show in recent times, especially Season 7, because they want to wrap things up. Increasing the pace doesn't have to be a completely bad thing, but the way they've gone about it seems awkward. They've created an uncomfortable distance between the audience and the Game of Thrones world. The magic of any story happens when the audience is immersed in it. We can believe in a zombie army, dragons, a magical wall, and all kinds of things if the information is presented the right way. When you dramatically break the flow of a story, especially a story that everyone is immersed in, and major plot points seem very weak and different from previous plot points, the entire world starts unraveling, losing credibility, and the audience sees the story as a gimmick instead of something powerful. In short, the feels diminish exponentially. My unadulterated opinion of Episode 1, Season 8 is that it sucked. A bunch of characters came together in Winterfell, and I didn't care that much. Bran was creepier than ever. Arya was creepy. Daenerys was creepy. Sansa, weird. Tyrion, useless. Varys, barely there. The Hound, doing nothing. Lady Mormont, leaning towards edgelord status. Jon Snow, looking like a placeholder of peace. Gratuitous dragons didn't even seem super magical and cool like before. I could go on, but you get the picture. The scene of Jon and Arya meeting after all these years should have been the height of feels, but it fell flat. The worst part was that my suspicions about the direction of the show and the quality of Season 8 seemed to be confirmed. The party is over. No hope of feels or good storytelling. There's going to be an epic battle that goes on forever with millions of dollars worth of special effects and a randomly edgy ending. Oh well, I'm still going to watch the rest of the show and live in the memory of what was. Similar to playing an aging MMO that is well past its glory days. Similar to the tail end of a failing relationship. Similar to taking in the beautiful scenery while your car is midair after plunging off a cliff. But then they released Episode 2 and everything changed. All the feels came back. The characters were suddenly alive again. Even though a lot of the scenes were short, they were impactful and full of feels. Instead of chess pieces being pushed around a board by invisible hands, the world seemed real again and magical. I cared. It was feels overload. To keep it 100, I was shocked AF high key that they were able to do this. If they can still make an episode like Episode 2, what the hell happened in Episode 1? I honestly can't begin to wrap my mind around that one. But more importantly, I thank the Game of Thrones gods for delivering the OG magic of the show and the storytelling that was in Episode 2. Episode 2 was not driven by shuffling things around. It was just good old immersion, which is exactly what I want from this show. Way more than massive action scenes and special effects. That's cool too, but without the story and the feels, who cares really? Brian Cogman wrote Episode 2 as well as a handful of Game of Thrones episodes over the years. It was announced a couple years ago he was creating and developing one of the several Game of Thrones prequel series. HBO, give the man all of your money and do it now. All of that being said, let us recap Episode 2, but let us do it in a lighthearted way, which will also sometimes point to the feels, but many times we're just going to be having fun. Let's get into it. And Episode 2 begins with the trial of Jaime Lannister. My insane brother talked about all the things we would do to you for murdering our insane father. He's a real son of a bitch.
The things we do for love.
Once upon a time some men were going to force themselves onto me, but Sir Jamie saved me, and in the process he lost his sword hand. I vouch for Sir Jamie. He's a righteous dude.
We need every man we can get.
Kinda awkward when you find out that Bae is actually your aunt.
If you can't help me take it back, I'll find another hand who can.
Dang.
I know death. He's got many faces. I look forward to seeing this one.
Now make me my god dang weapon, boy toy.
I always pictured myself dying in my own bed, at the age of 80, with a belly full of wine and a girl's mouth around my cock.
Feels, bros, feels. This is the feels. So much of feels. Hey, girl. Now that I'm not with my sister, let me holla at you. Dang, what is you saying? Okay, that didn't really happen, but we all know that that's what they were thinking at the time. Haha, I'm just kidding, boys. We know that Jorah isn't really a Batamal, but he is friend-zoned for life. Regardless, it's a lucky thing that he is around because he talks Daenerys down from being too harsh. He's like, dude, you don't want to get rid of Tyrion. Tyrion's hella smart. And Sansa, you may want to make up and have some kind of understanding with her. I loves your brother, and I'm doing all kinds of things for your brother, including coming up here to fight the dead people and stuff when I have other things to do.
Tell me, who manipulated whom?
You have no idea how happy it makes me to hear that you are being manipulated by my brother rather than my brother being manipulated by you. But back to the matter at hand. After we defeat all of our enemies, including the dead and Cersei, then what are you going to do?
I take the Iron Throne.
What about the North?
Theon Greyjoy back in the Easy. So good to see Theon once again, and his reunion with Sansa, with Lady Sansa, was so much of feels. I felt it deep within my feels. I couldn't believe it. It was like, dude, why am I reacting like this? I didn't even know that those feels were there, but the feels just bubbled up, and I was like, damn. Having extras like this is so key to setting the mood for everything that is going on right now in Winterfell. It is just absolutely powerful. And this little girl broke my heart. But both me brothers were soldiers. I want to fight too. No, you don't want to fight too. You're just a little girl. You're a cute little girl. You need to go and be safe. Why the heck are little girls like you in Winterfell right now with all those dead people coming here to kill everyone? Like, I seriously don't get it. Why do they have women who aren't going to fight as well as children over here? They should be running to the south. Also, the interaction with this little girl who had that thing on her face, possibly grayscale, to look like Shireen, or whatever her name was, with Sir Davos. It was kind of all heartbreaking, and it hit me in the feels again.
A few moments later.
The boys are back in town, yeah. Feels, oh my god, feels. I had so much of feels.
How long do we have? Before the sun comes up tomorrow.
And all of our heroes gather together to strategize about what they will do. when they face the Night King and his army. And quite wisely, John points out that they're all minions. They cannot possibly defeat all of the minions, but if they go after the Night King, maybe they have a chance of winning. And of course, that is the truth, because as we know, mathematically it is impossible for the humans to just keep fighting all of those whites, all the regular zombies, and to somehow come out of this victorious. They're going to have to go after the Night King and the White Walkers in order to destroy all of their zombies, all of their minions. They have to do this. And Bran, the three-eyed raven, is like, yeah, bro, I know the Night King wants me. He's after me. And here we have one of the biggest revelations that we've ever had in Game of Thrones. Everyone has been making video after video, article after article. What does the Night King want? What is his goal? What does he need to do?
Why? What does he want? An endless night? He wants to erase this world, and I am its memory.
So they're going to use Bran as bait, okay? And he is going to stay by that blessed family tree in the Godswood, and he is going to be there, and Theon Greyjoy is going to stand by him to try to compensate for what he did in the past when he sacked Winterfell. So he is going to stand by Bran, and the dragons are going to be nearby somewhere, so there's going to be this whole scene going on.
Your Grace.
That feel when you're only there because of Bay, and Bay is like ignoring you and everything is like really awkward. But don't worry, Danny. Bay has a great excuse, and the excuse is that he found out that you're his aunt. I feel you though, Danny. I feel you. You tried to look hella cute, and I think you succeeded in what you were trying to do, and dude's just like ignoring you. So of course you're gonna feel like, what the hell is going on? I getcha. Feels like he's being super mean. Super mean. Like, is he having commitment issues? Like, what's the deal here? Notice how Tyrion not only saw what went down or didn't go down between Jon and Daenerys, but he also checked out Daenerys' ass on her way out. And then they just casually throw Ghost back into the mix. Dudes, could you have made a slightly bigger deal? Do you not know that everyone loves direwolves and dogs and canines and stuff like that? You could have had a big homecoming where Jon was there and Ghost ran up and like started licking him and like all that kind of stuff. I mean, it would have been cool at least if you made some kind of reference about how Daenerys might have dragons, but Jon has a direwolf. Not that a direwolf could do much to a dragon, but still, it's like they could, you know, talk about their pets and stuff. Now, this was a proper moment between Arya and the Hound. I'm glad that they did this. In the other episode, he just kind of calls her a little cold bitch, and that was pretty much the end of it. At least here, Arya approaches him. They have that same, you know, cozy relationship that they had in years past. It was nice to see, and it was a lot of feels once again.
A few moments later.
Bruh, I really did not want to see this in any way. I mean, little Arya, we did not need to see this, and I realize that she's like 21 or something, but it seems like she's 6 years old or 8 years old or something like that. The whole thing is very, very creepy. I don't know why they had to show the things that they showed. Luckily, they didn't show too much, but whatever they showed was too much, so it wasn't that lucky.
In the name of the warrior, I charge you to be brave. In the name of the father, I charge you to be just. In the name of the mother, I charge you to defend the innocent. Arise, Brienne of Tarth, a knight of the Seven Kingdoms.
Feels. And the Mormonts reunite. I was wondering about this in episode 1, and I was glad to see them throw in this little detail here in episode 2. These little details make a world of difference, especially in the feels department. And Lady Mormont is a straight gangster. She is so gangster.
I'll see you when it's through.
Who's that?
Oh, that's my mom. You might have heard of her. Her name's Lyanna Stark. And she was married to your brother, your big brother, Rhaegar. And I'm their love child who was born while they were married. And that would make me heir to the Iron Throne and not you.
My real name is Aegon Targaryen.
Now, see, I can respect that. I like Aegon Targaryen. I don't really like Aegon Targaryen. Aegon. Some people say Aegon. Some people say Aegon. I prefer to say Aegon because I think that's super cool and elite. And Aegon is like the opposite of that. It's very bad.
A secret no one in the world knew. Except your brother and your best friend.
She has a point there.
If it were true, it would make you the last male heir of House Targaryen. You'd have a claim to the Iron Throne.
So no mention about how we're related, how you're basically my aunt and we've been bumping and banging like it ain't nothing wrong and we're like in love and shit, but like you're more focused on the Iron Throne at this point. Gotta be honest here, I'm still shipping them regardless because it's sort of their family tradition to be a little bit incestuous. I mean, as far as I know, Dany's parents, weren't they brother and sister? So this is kind of less incestuous in a way because Rhaegar's only her half sibling and, you know, whatever. You know, I'm not really just trying to justify this disgusting stuff. But hey, this is the way that this show works, okay? The Targaryens are into incest and somehow that makes dragons come alive. And the Lannisters are also into incest because they're just really arrogant and they want to fuck each other. The point is, I still ship them. I have no idea what's going to happen now. Dany apparently doesn't have much of an issue with the fact that they're related. Her greater issue is that she has some competition for the Iron Throne now as far as another Targaryen goes. Jon, on the other hand, he was raised in the North, and incest is probably not one of the things that he wants to really engage in as an honorable Northerner. So we'll just have to see what's going to happen. My guess with them is that someone is going to die before their relationship can even go any further, or Dany is pregos, and that would be the one situation that would make Jon think about going along with this Targaryen tradition of incestuous relationships, because I don't think that Jon's going to be cool with it. I think she could be cool with it, but I don't think Jon's going to be cool with it unless there are extenuating circumstances, like everyone comes together and they're like, just be in an incestuous relationship for the sake of the realm or something. I don't know. Or they're going to have a kid or something, but we'll have to see. And quite unfortunately, all of this had to unfold right before the battle horn is sounded and they rush out and see that there is something coming in the distance, and that something is very, very creepy. And there you have it, dear brethren. I will be doing more Game of Thrones videos as this season progresses because it is the last season and I love this show. I will also be doing the more customary videos coming very shortly. So stay tuned for everything, and I will see you in the next video.